Hello and welcome to the PSS 757 tutorial. Today we're going to look at starting the airplane up cold and dark at San Diego. We're going to head over to San Francisco. So first of all, to start this 757, you want to go to your overhead panel. You're going to right click on your battery, click, then right click to close the lid. Next you're going to go over to standby power. You're going to bring it over to auto. And then next, I usually like to start up my APU, get that all ready. Gonna bring it over to start. It's gonna automatically go on to the on selection. So from here, what you can do is you can bring over your IRS over to nav. Now you don't have to bring it over to align, because once you bring it over to nav, it's gonna automatically align for you. So that's one benefit from the 757 PSS. For next, what we're going to do, we can go over here and put our yaw dampers on. They should be turning off in operational once the APU is starting. And since we have the APU almost about to run, we're going to hit our APU bleed switch over here. Now we can just wait for the APU to kick on. PSS 757, I usually like to start it up in 2D cockpit, mostly due to the availability of all the screens and all that. Like with this panel selector up here on the top, you can go to your overhead, you can go to your pedestal, CDU, FMC, you can go to your radio and all that. It's really it's very nice to have. And it looks like our APU is starting, or start up, so now we can turn on the APU generator. Now that's going to light up a couple more buttons for us to play with. So next we can go down to here, we can put our hydraulic electric pumps on. Put our electric switches on. We got that, good. And go down here. Next we can go up to the emergency lights, bring that to arm, right click to close the lid. You don't want to mess with passenger oxygen or ram air turbine unless you're in an emergency, so don't have to mess with that right now. You want to leave your engine start switches to where they are, which is off. We can leave our fuel pumps off for now. We can go down all the way to our lights. So I usually like to just click on my lights right now. I'll put on my red and white anti-collision lights and my position lights for now. Next we'll go up to the next column. We'll hit window heat. We can turn those all on. Next we can go to turn our no smoking sign on, because that's always on in a US flight. You can turn seatbelt signs to auto right now, or you can put it on. It's really up to you. Next we will go down to the next row. We're going to turn our trim air on, our recirculation fans on. Even though they're inoperative right now, they're going to kick on once we start up everything else. Next we can turn our packs over to auto. That's going to help us later for circulation of air and all that good stuff. We can also go over to our pedestal. See, our fuel control switches are on cutoff right now, so that prevents any fuel from going through the lines or any of that. Okay, so you see that we set up our align switches, or nav and IRS, all that we dealt with in the beginning. Now we can go over to our CDU or FMC, whatever you want to call it. We can go over to position, initialization, we can hit GPS, we can put it in set internal position. We can close out of that. Now you can see that we have our weather radar on. Not fully on, but it's on. To turn that off, you can either hit right below the clock, and you can bring up a little shortcut turn weather on or off. Or you can come up to comm. You can come up to radio, and you can deal with that right up here with turning it on or off. So you can see I put it to turbulence and weather. As you can see down there, now it's moving, so it's initialized and all that good stuff. Next, we can go over to our overhead panel, make sure we got all that set up. Looks like we're good. We'll go to our CDU. We'll click on route. For this little tutorial, we will be going to San Francisco from San Diego. So we can enter that in manually, which we'll do for this tutorial. So we go KSAN, which is San Diego's ICAO code, KSFO, which is our destination, San Francisco International Airport. Next we can hit next page, then we can enter in our route. For our route, we will be going to Sierra X-Ray Charlie for our first waypoint. I'm going to put that in the right column. As you can see on the left, it says direct. On the left side is where you're going to enter in your airways, which we'll get to that in just a couple seconds. Next, we're going to go to Victor Tango, there it is, and uniform. Next, we're going to Romeo Zulu Sierra. Next, we're going to take a jetway or airway, another two difference. We're going to go to J501. So you put the airway or jetway on the left side, and then that is going to bring us to Bravo Sierra Romeo. Next, we can hit activate, then we can execute it. So our route is all set up. Next, hit the next button, and next we're at gross weight and our other weight and all that. For the PSS 757, all you have to really do is right click, and it will give you all your, fill in all your gross weight, your zero fuel weight. All you have to do is fill in your reserves, cost index, and cruise altitude. For reserves for this flight, we're just going to put 12. Cost index, we can put, let's say, 50. Cruise altitude, we can go up to 340. It's going to be an even flight level due to going west. Next, you can hit takeoff. We can set our flaps. Usually the flap setting in this 757 is 15. And then we're going to confirm our speeds. For CG, we're going to enter 22%. And for our thrust, we can enter, since it says down here 15, it says 15 degrees Celsius. We can enter in that in. As you can see, our takeoff speeds have been deleted because it takes into consideration the temperature of the outside. But I'm not going to confirm those now because we can also choose our runway. For our departure runway, we can take runway 27. We'll select it, we'll execute it, and then we should be good. I'm not going to use any SIDs for this tutorial, but all you have to do is select a SID on the left hand side over here and you'll see set. As you can see here from the active route page, you can either request a route, which you can go into your FS9 route folder and get routes from there down here, FS plans, or you can go to your own routes that you saved. You can also go back, you can save the route from here, you can also print the route I never used the print function yet, but maybe some other time. So we got our weight all figured out, we got our cruise altitude, we'll go back to our takeoff. Now we can confirm our speeds. There, as you can see, pre-flight is complete for our CDU, as it says. Next we can go to over here. I'm going to use this little shortcut down here. I want to turn my weather radar off. We'll bring it out a little bit more. We can turn our TCAS on right now, which can be, you hit the comm panel or you can hit the radio panel. So we can bring it all over to TA/RA. We can set our walk, which I'll be using 2301. That's good for here. We're going to switch our frequencies over to Unicon, and we'll be set for pushback right now.